everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. Today my guest is Sherry Sparks from the Quincy Senior Family Resource Center. Thank you for joining me today, Sherry.
We're so excited to be here.
Yes, we are talking about a big campaign, a campaign that you're excited about because we're excited about getting the word out because this is a much needed campaign, right?
Exactly. There's been a lot of talk about it for years. Gee, it would be nice if we had a second elevator at the Quincy Senior Center. But now it's even more essential because the one and only elevator that we have to serve all 6 levels is wearing out.
Okay.
And so we all know that elevators are not cheap.
No.
So that is why we have embarked on our campaign at this time.
Good. I was reading your brochures and I was reading some of the residents' quotes about how, this elevator is downright scary at times. It's creeping, it's making noises, and that's not really good on them to have to feel that way. No one wants to get in an elevator and feel like they're going to the Hollywood Tower of Terror or something,
Absolutely not, no. So that obviously when an elevator starts experiencing problems, such as ours is, it does have some, noises and little bumps and grinds that you wish weren't there. But the current elevator that we have, I'm not an expert on elevators, but what I have learned is that we are a hydraulic elevator. And so anytime you get over 3 stories with a hydraulic elevator, you tend to have, often repair problems.
Yes.
So the next elevator that we would like to build, we have to build an entire new shaft because there isn't even a shaft in the building for the elevator.
Okay.
So it will be built on the northwest corner of our building, and it's going to be what they call a tension style elevator, or traction style, which we've been told is a lot smoother, a lot more reliable, less breakdowns, and so that's why we're going to go for this type this time around.
So go for the big one that hopefully it lasts much longer than the 25 years.
Exactly.
Okay, so the goal for this elevator, the main financial goal, what are we trying to mark?
Well, you'll see on our brochures it'll say 1.3 million, which is great, and a big amount. However, it's gone up because now we're exploring every funding opportunity that we can, whether it's private donors, whether it's businesses, whether it's grants, and of course government dollars. And in order for government dollars to be involved, we must include prevailing wage. So actually the figure now is $1.6 million for our new elevator.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the Quincy Senior and Resource Center. Let's take it back a little bit. You told me it is a non-for-profit.
Correct.
And then what are the services there that are provided?
I'm a board member now, and actually the more time I've spent in the building, I'm really amazed at everything that happens there. Everybody knows about Meals on Wheels. So that is another not-for-profit that is located in our building.
Okay.
And the food is actually prepared on the lower level, and then it's brought up, and then it's given to the volunteers, and then they go out and deliver it. But that's another reason why, we have to keep the elevator operational.
This is a hub for not only, like you said, the 60 residents and their families, but these meals are going out, and any other programs that you have to offer?
Well, we serve 14,000 residents a year. We are a 5-county area: Adams, Brown, Pike, Hancock, and Schuyler.
Okay.
Actually 6-county, Adams County. So we are a hub, and we do other services too. For example, we do information and referral. So when people need to know, my elderly mother needs this, or I need this, where do I go? They can call. Something a lot of people don't realize is we also do things not just for seniors. And so every year we do free low-income tax assistance. And I believe last year we did over 1,200 cases to help people get their taxes filed.
Awesome.
And so that's another way that we help. We also have congregate dining on the first level. When you come in, people can have meals there. It's a good hot meal. It's a good place to connect with your fellow seniors or friends.
And is that available for rent to the public sometimes?
The building is for rent. I'm so glad you asked that because we would like to get more people to utilize our building. We have at least 6 meeting rooms. We can configure them in different ways. We have that giant activity room. We have rentals there for wedding receptions. We've been at the site of many conferences in this community. So yes, and we have people that play cards there, and that's just a free service too. But we have cards, we have exercise programs, so many things going on.
I remember going to a birthday party there one time, and then just thinking, in the future, my grandparents it's a little hard for them to get around, and I know the access there is really easy for elderly people to get into those activity rooms. So if you are looking for a rental space, and you have elderly people in your family, that's a great place to rent. And like you said, it's non-for-profit, so it's helping out the community as well when you're renting from them.
And the prices are really good on the rentals. Especially, take a look and see what's out there in the community. But I think we're very competitive, and we want more people to utilize our building because that's what it's for.
Okay, so how can they find out these prices, the services? Where do they go for all this information?
Well, if they'd like to just call in, they can call 217-223-5700.
Okay.
Or just walk in the front doors, take a right. There's like a little U-shaped desk there, and you just take a right, and that's the information and referral office. You can go right in there. There is a newsletter that you can either look up online at WCIAAN, or you can also get it mailed to you if you'd like. Unfortunately, due to the rising cost of mail, it was free, but we had to put a $10 charge on the mailing fees just because, as you know, everything's gone up.
Yes. What about internet access? Is there a website for the?
Yes, that was the one that I just gave.
Okay.
WCIAAN is our site.
Okay.
And you can go on there and get the newsletter for free.
Awesome. Yeah. Paperless. That's how we like to go around here.
Yes, and the newsletter has in there about the Sudoku. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Sudoku. A lot of people like that one. I haven't quite
gotten onto that. Do they gather there and do that as well?
Well, it's in the newsletter.
Okay.
And every month they like getting it. And there's also a word search in there every month, which I like the word search.
Yes. So basically bringing back some print things from the paper and making it accessible for the public. That's awesome.
Exactly. And the menus are all in there, and it talks about all the activities going on at all the different counties for the facility. So it's very important. So
all right, yes. Sherry, tell me how to get involved in the elevator campaign.
So
we're raising money for this elevator. It's in need. How do I get involved?
Well, there's actually several ways you can get involved. First of all, we need more volunteers. As you know, when you're dealing with a big project like this, I have a wonderful co-chair by the name of Lori Holtzschlag, and she's really in this with me. And when we were first talking about it, we both saw the need, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to help. But we need more volunteers. We recently got another volunteer at one of our fundraising events. We were out doing cars about a week ago, and I met a lady who wanted to help us. So we need people to help with the elevator campaign. We also have all kinds of committees at the Senior Center. Recently, we've been looking for some more board members for both the West Central Illinois Area Agency on Aging and the West Central Illinois Aging and Disability Resource Center, which I know those are a mouthful. But
well, you nailed it, though. I would not have been able to nail that one. So there's plenty of opportunities to get involved. If you're looking for something to do, even if it's just one day a week, I'm assuming you guys have plenty of opportunities for that, and then we're in need of big volunteers too. This is a big campaign. Big campaign,
and you've looked at our brochure, and I think you have it on the air here.
Yep, we'll show it to you right now.
We have different levels. We were trying to catch a really catchy names, for the elevator, but we finally decided to keep it simple, and we went with like basement, first floor, second floor, all the way up to the 5th floor.
Okay.
So we have giving levels, and they start as friends of the campaign at $100, and then they go up to the 5th floor of $10,000. Okay. And so any level you can help us with is wonderful. And something I particularly like, I know people give because they want to help their community and their goodness in their heart. But unfortunately, we've all have those folks that we've lost due to death. And I myself lost a daughter, and so we have a thing called You Can Make Your Gift in Memory of. Aww. And so I think, I'm going to make my gift in memory of Lisa Marie Sparks, and my little daughter who was so inspiring and missed so much. But any of you can do that. And there will be signage out by the new elevator recognizing the giving levels. And so, like you say, gift of $500 in memory of. And that could be in memory of your loved one.
You could be a part of elevator history.
Exactly. Yeah. Elevator history. I love it. That is so exciting.
All right, so this is a running campaign. They can donate at any time. Any events upcoming in the future where they can get there and donate?
Exactly. Great question. So when we kind of kicked this off in July, we said, we just don't think everybody knows about all the wonderful things that we do at the Senior Center. So we started having monthly events. We started with a pizza drive, and believe me, I never thought at my age I'd be doing a pizza drive, but we did it. We made money, right? And so we've done several things like Breakfast for a Cause at the Hy-Vees, where we encourage people to come in and we get a percentage of the funds. We did that in August. I know County Market stepped forward with us, and they did a bourbon raffle for us.
Yum.
And so there you go. It was more money for the senior center.
Yes.
Thank you, bourbon drinkers out there.
Yes, very much. Any upcoming events that we are?
Yes, we do. We have Steak Night for a Cause coming
Yum.
up in October at Hy-Vee store, in the middle of October. I believe it's the 16th, but it's coming up.
Coming up, we can get a steak and give to a good cause.
It's a good cause.
And then you have something coming up in November. What was it?
You know what? At the senior center, we love bingos. We have bingos for our residents. We have open night bingos, but this bingo is special because it's to raise money for the senior center elevator.
Awesome.
So you want to come out on Friday, November 21st. I think the doors open at 4. You will buy like bingo cards, and we make money that way. And then we're also going to have like raffle baskets that you can bid on. And in the meantime, I think they have food open, so just go up to the bar, get a drink, get food, or whatever, and then we'll try to tell a little bit more about the senior center and all the fun things that we do.
That is awesome, Sherry. I think, you like you said, you have a plethora of opportunities, to get involved and be a part of this elevator campaign. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I just think, I want to reiterate to people why it's so important for those 60 people who live on the upper levels. That is their home. They've been there, and particularly at our age group, people, they don't like to be rehomed or taken out of what they're familiar with. And almost everybody that lives up there has some type of a mobility issue. They're in scooters, they're in wheelchairs, they're in walkers. Obviously, if the elevator goes down, they can't do the stairs.
Yeah.
So if it went down, and sometimes the elevators, the older they get, the longer the repair takes, they would have to all find new homes. They'd have to go elsewhere. And even if we wanted to keep them in our community, there's a housing shortage right now.
Yeah.
So we would have to rehome them outside of this community. And we don't want to do that. These people worked hard, they paid taxes, they supported their community. We want to keep them in their home.
Absolutely.
We want to keep them where they're happy. So that's a real important reason to give right then and there, like keep people in their homes.
Yes, keep them in their homes, let people have access to this beautiful resource center. I read also something somewhere where one of the residents said, how are we going to get to this, this, and this? And I read how it is state law that you have to have a functioning, so we want to just keep the Quincy Senior Resource Center open.
Absolutely. And you're right, they still have to go to doctor's appointments. We operate the senior transportation out of our building, so maybe people need to take the bus somewhere or go somewhere. And I haven't mentioned, there are other agencies besides just the senior affiliated agencies. For example, on the second floor, we have Clarity Healthcare.
Okay.
And we also have the West Central Center for Independent Living. And what they do is they're a resource all about helping people with physical disabilities. And so they need for their customers to come up in the elevator to get to them.
Yes.
And so they need us too. They have over 500 people that they work with a year. So like I said, there's all kinds of people that count on that elevator. And so we really do need it. And it'll be built on the northwest corner of the building. And because we already have an existing building, we'll have to open up each floor and connect the shaft to the elevator. And there'll be, somewhat of a little lobby area there. And of course, we will be recognizing all these donor levels that I told you about, first floor, second floor, whatever. We'll be recognizing them there as just a token of our appreciation for helping us to get the new elevator.
Well, all right, Quincy, in the community, it's time to step up and get this elevator together. It takes time for construction. We need to get this money, collected and going. So let's start, today. Make the donation today.
It could take up to 1 to 2 years to actually build the elevator. So that's why we need
to
really
get on
working
this.
hard. Grants. If you have a group that we can come in and talk to, your Rotaries, your Kiwanis, your Optimists, we are trying to make contacts with those agencies. Church groups will come in and talk. Any kind of association that you have, we would love, Laura and myself or one of the other volunteers, we would love to come in and talk. Because absolutely, we need you all to help us get to the top. Quincy Senior Elevator Fund.
Yes, so let's help Sherry. Contact her. Let's get this elevator going.
Yes,
thank you, Sherry.
Absolutely. And thank you. Appreciate Muddy River News helping us get the word out.
We appreciate you. All right, coming up next, I sit down with Jennifer Bach-Nelson from Culver Stockton College to talk about art opportunities in a major.
Welcome out to Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer and it feels so right. I'll meet you out on Broadway underneath Shamrock Light. We're gonna have a good time on the patio tonight. There's a party down at Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer on a champagne night. We're feeling all alone and you got no place to go. So come down here and drink a beer on Kelly's patio. Kelly's a fun place to eat and drink. 2902 Broadway.
Welcome to Cedar Club, Quincy's favorite local bar. A friendly corner bar with a laid-back atmosphere and affordable drinks. It's the perfect spot for a great time. With entertainment galore, including shuffleboard, golden tea, pool, foosball, and winning gaming machines. Cedar Club's latest edition is the best spot to catch your favorite game. Great drinks, great friends, and great times. Cedar Club, 20th and Cedar in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Utopia is now open every day from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. and till 1 a.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Chill out with a craft cocktail or an ice-cold beer. And Utopia's got the latest gaming machines with big jackpots ready for you to win. Need the perfect spot for your next celebration? Utopia features a beautiful event venue, available now for parties, reunions, and private events. So come see what all the buzz is about. The drinks are cold, the space is hot, and Utopia is ready for you.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
And welcome back. I'm sitting here with award-winning artist Jennifer Bach-Nelson from the Culver Stockton College. Thanks for joining me today, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me, Brittany.
Absolutely. So we're going to discuss a little bit about the art major possibility at Culver Stockton. I know you recently had a speech. I want to hear a little bit about that because you told me there's a difference between those. And then just a little bit about you as an artist. You have some of the most amazing murals around Quincy. So I'm looking forward to this.
I appreciate that. So the difference between a gallery talk and an artist lecture is an artist lecture is going to go a little bit more in depth. It was in a lecture hall with a PowerPoint, and it traces sort of your origin story through wanting to become an artist, different series, influences on my art. So it's a little bit more in depth than the gallery talk that I gave for the faculty exhibition that's open right now.
Okay.
And that is open through October 17th, if anybody wants to come and see the work that faculty and adjuncts and professors emeritus are doing at Culver Stockton College.
Where at Culver can we see these works? Where do I have to go to actually view them?
It's in the Herrick Foundation Center, which we share a building with a business department. I always say, like, you come in on the main level. The gallery is really cool because it used to be the basketball courts.
Okay.
And so it has 2 levels. You can kind of look down from the upper level down on the floor. And when we tore up the carpet, the logo for Culver Stockton College is like right in the middle of where the stairs come down.
That's pretty
so
cool.
It's like, yeah, it's like a basketball floor. I get a lot of positive comments from artists who show in the space, just saying it's kind of fun, original. And so that's on the main level of Herrick Foundation Center. And then if you...
What are their hours if I wanted to make a trip to go to the gallery?
Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds like a nice little excursion. We might have to check that out on our road trips with Randy sometime.
Oh, I think so. And our openings are a lot of fun. Like we have like dining services, make it really fancy with charcuterie boards, and we always have the gallery artist talk.
Okay, so you just spoke about the talk. So tell me, how did your talk go?
My talk for the opening went great. And then my artist lecture, I was kind of amazed at how many students came out for it because I thought it would be a half hour. It ended up being 45 minutes of me talking about why I became an artist, wanting to be an artist at the age of 5. I got a little bit more into, I don't usually say I have Tourette syndrome, but I knew that this award had taken place and I had received this grant.
So speaking of that award,
right?
I know she doesn't want to toot her own horn. I'm going to go ahead and say, I said award-winning artist. You most recently were awarded and recognized with a 3000 Midwest Art Grant Award for the Artists with Disabilities competition. So is that what you're referring to?
It is. So I didn't realize they would only choose one artist per state. So it kind of
That
feels
is
like
a really big
feels like
deal.
a lot of pressure to represent the state of Illinois, especially as a downstate, resident. So I kind of figured at last minute, applied for this grant, and if I got it, I was like, I guess I'll be like an advocate for Tourette's, and so that.
So you got some weight on your shoulders is how you're feeling.
Kind of,
Like-
but I also feel like it's for mid-career artists, and as a mid-career artist and person in my 40s, I'm much more comfortable talking about it.
Yeah.
And I think that neurodiversity in general is having a moment.
Yeah.
And Tourette's is kind of a lesser known part of the neurodiversity tribe or spectrum. So I figured, there's probably a kid or two in Quincy who has Tourette's.
I know a couple myself.
Yeah.
Actually, it's more and more prevalent, and I think it's because we're recognizing what it is.
Probably. It just wasn't acknowledged
Yeah.
as a kid in the 80s. Sometimes people would tell me to stop it. Nobody ever said, hey, this is the reason why you're making these sounds and these movements. This is what it's called.
Yeah.
And part of my artist lecture was talking about having sensory processing disorder as a part of that. And I think I was aware of that as a kid before Tourette's.
Yeah.
Just everything was too much. The lights were too bright, the sounds were too loud, my clothing was too tight. I just felt really uncomfortable in my environment. So for me, art was a way to have an immersive activity pretty early on where in any immersive activity, whether it's sports or a craft or some other thing that you're so focused on doing it that you're less aware of time, you're less aware of your surroundings, your body. I call it kind of going into a flow state
Yeah.
where you're like, oh my goodness, how did 3 hours just happen?
So it kind of took you away from your disability, but did you ever feel like a challenge, I guess, in art with Tourette's? Did that bother you, or was it just the escape?
I think it was more the escape. I didn't decide to pursue art until college. I did a major change from the pre-med track to art. So
That is major.
That was an intensive learning curve. I didn't take art classes in high school, and so I was kind of behind. It's hard if you have high test scores as a certain high achieving kid, you very easily get put in the math science track.
Yeah.
And so I knew at the age of 5 I just wanted to make art. So changing my major in college to an art major, art and psychology, was a big change. I didn't know any of the skills. At one point my advisor recommended maybe finding a different major.
I love that you pushed through it too.
I'm very stubborn, very much did you just tell me I can't do something?
Yeah.
Watch.
Yeah, exactly. I love that mentality. A couple other awards that you have won. You won the Individual Artist Grant from the Illinois Arts Council, and you won the Best in Show at the 2018 Rockford Midwestern Biennial. That's pretty amazing. Just being an artist and being recognized, what does that feel like for you?
I think it's really affirming. After graduate school, and I went to Northern Illinois University near Chicago, I just felt like I was part of this really vibrant art community, knew a lot of people who were making art, and I think moving downstate 20 years ago was hard.
I could see that. I can see. Yeah, I totally see that.
So
how did you deal with that?
Well, it was doubly hard because I came here pregnant and didn't know anybody and came here for my husband's job. And so it's how am I going to be an artist in this town? And I don't know, kind of kept plowing through. And I'm kind of known for the Drive series, which is the mural on 4th Street across from the Lincoln Douglas Apartments.
I think you broke through the mural artistry in Quincy when you just said, I don't think I've seen murals before I recognized that one. So what is that called again?
It's called Focus.
Yeah.
And it was part of a larger series that I did. Like I was adjunct teaching at Culver when I had my babies, and like that drive commute back and forth from Canton was the only time I had each day. That was just my time.
That's awesome.
So like school is busy, and any mom knows, like, or parent or caretaker, that it's just, it's a lot of stimulation, like as a parent and then as an educator. So that 25 minutes was mine.
Yeah.
To just sort of like zone out. And I always say that I tried to make this area into a city, because at night when the lights are like flashing, it kind of feels like a city.
That, or we all have like astigmatisms.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that.
It is a beautiful mural. I know you just recently touched it up a little bit.
I did.
So what did that entail?
Well, that was done in 2013, and this is actually, I think, my third time repairing it.
Good.
It's just with the way that the surface was prepared, the way that the bricks are, it's just, it's not going to have the longevity that other pieces that I have that are on like a good substrate are going to have. And so there was sort of a decision, do we maintain it? Do we let it just kind of naturally fade out? But we kind of decided that it sort of has become a Quincy landmark, and it was important to keep doing that.
I am so glad that you guys decided to continue on with that. It is one of my favorite. But you have a couple more in Quincy. What are some of the other murals, or where are they located?
I have my first series of murals were in Quincy Public Library in the children's department.
Okay.
There's a lot of kind of seasonal trees and natural scenes. I also have one in Blessing Pediatrics. And then last summer, the summer of 2024, I did 2 murals for Horizons Soup Kitchen and Food Pantry.
They still are, they're beautiful. I loved watching you do them. I always go to the gas station across the street, and I was yelling at Jennifer from across the station. I'm like, can I take a picture of your process? It was great. It was fun watching it grow, as you drove by 8th Street,
right,
the scoreboard every day, that, you just saw this mural grow. Do you what you're doing, obviously, before you do it, or does some things kind of just come as they...
Not my type.
No.
I'm very orderly, very precise. Like, we are in this quadrant right now, and we are doing this, and we are matching these colors.
Yes.
So a lot of it was thought out ahead of time, but I think that the way that I paint made it fun for everybody. So most artists would kind of do your very background layer and then slowly build it up. But I like to start at the left side and then just kind of have the image spread. So to me, it sort of feels like magic when that image is kind of
It really was like magic.
From the building. And you were not alone. Like, I had people come every day to see the progress, and then I started just posting about it on my Facebook public art page, kind of like what happened that day. Because you're right on the street there.
Yeah.
There's no buffer.
Yeah, that, and it's a very high traffic area.
It really is.
Horizons is widely used in our community. So
yes.
I'm sure you saw all kinds of walks of life and
I
had
did.
all kinds of conversations.
So it was kind of a big adventure that everybody could follow that summer.
Yeah,
and
I was following along.
Yeah, you get the temperature. Some days are so hot. Is the rain gonna come?
Yeah.
Just, you never know. But that's what I love about murals, as hard as they are for somebody who gets I don't know, I need to focus and kind of go into the zone. I had my little sign there, sorry, I'm listening to headphones so I can concentrate.
Yeah.
But it's very public, and I appreciate that about murals, because so many times people feel uncomfortable going to a gallery space or a museum, or they feel who am I, or I don't belong here. But public art is for everybody.
Yeah.
And so, especially for the guests of Horizons, that they get to see that every day, and it's for them. It's for people who drive by. It's for people who live in the really nice condos or townhouses across the street. It's just sort of for everybody.
Yeah. I think you are an artist with confidence, and just by doing those murals, you open up art to the public and make them think a little bit more about it, along with these talks. Is there any advice or guides that you would give somebody that is looking to possibly major in art, and their parents are saying to them, you are not majoring in art?
And I very much appreciate that. When we have new people come, I'm like, so you want to study art and...
Okay.
And then kind of wait. We've got lots of tracks. We have our art education track, and we have people who are recruiting the students before they're even done with student teaching.
Okay.
Like they are immediately getting hired.
Because it is a need.
It's a need.
Okay.
Yeah. We are also our graphic designers. Some of our graphic design students and graphic design students are able to take a lot of our studio courses, and they're being hired during their internships. There's art and psychology. So we have a special connection with Adler University where if you are pre-art therapy, you can get accepted to that school in Chicago. We just had somebody go last year who's going to work on her doctorate.
Awesome. And that's a little bit close to your heart because that was your major too, right?
Yeah.
So,
art and psychology.
Did you do both? Was it hand in hand or did you double major? Sorry, It was
more like I double majored. I think psychology technically became a minor, but I didn't know at first if I wanted to go the art therapy for master's or if I wanted to do the traditional MFA course, which I ended up doing.
That's awesome. It's really cool that I feel like pretty blessed just sitting next to an artist. It's kind of cool right now to know that, yeah, your art's going to live on forever. Hopefully that building, I know you say it might decay, but you got some that art will live forever, and that's,
oh yes, yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And I think that that's a big part of being an artist. Like we're just surrounded by all these things around us, and it's kind of a way of saying I was here.
Yeah,
this is what I saw. This is what I found important. This is like what stuck with me.
Making your mark on the world.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so how can somebody get a hold of you or get involved in the Culver Stockton artist scene?
So we have a Facebook page. I do as an artist. Our art department does as a college. We also have an Instagram page. Okay. So that's a good way of seeing what our students are doing right now, and then also following any art news that I have to share.
Yeah, all right, so if you haven't, follow her on Facebook because you can see all the, like I said, the murals and things. I know you're busy right now teaching, but hopefully I'm crossing my fingers for another Quincy mural sometime in the future.
Yeah, I'm really excited about all the things that are happening. I had J.C. Womack as a student.
She is doing some amazing work.
On fire.
She is.
So I am one of her biggest cheerleaders, and I've had other former students do murals, and so I love that as I get older and it gets more difficult. I still have a couple decades, but I don't picture myself in operating a lift in my 60s.
Okay, I get it.
So it's such heavy labor.
Yeah, I guess I don't. Yeah, and the weather and the public. Yeah, it's a little terrain for artistry, I'm sure.
Oh, right. So being able to give all the things that I know and mentor the next generation of students, I think is really cool.
Makes it live on forever. You are really making your mark, Jennifer.
I try.
Well, thank you so much for joining me at this table and telling me a little bit more about yourself and the program. I really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you, Brittany. It was a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
All right, that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you here tomorrow.